Hi guys, welcome back to the kitchen. We are in the middle of winter, so I'm inclined to bring you a recipe that my family depends on in winter because it's like a go-to recipe when you are just having that winter soup, And this is a fast way to make bread. It's a no-knead recipe. No-knead literally means you don't have to work muscles kneading that bread. You mix the flour, and once the water is mixed in, that's it. You let it rest and then you come back and bake. So that's why it's called no-knead. So it's apparently a famous bread recipe, but in Namibian households, I didn't really see it, hey, I started making no-knead bread probably less than 5 years ago when I stumbled upon it on the internet, and I thought this is such an easy, fast way to make bread for my family, and that's how I adopted no-knead bread. So we are starting. We only need, traditionally, no-knead bread is made with 3 ingredients, right? Maybe 4 if you're counting water, which is flour, all-purpose flour or bread flour, salt, yeast, and then water. For me, I am having sugar here because my family really likes sugar in our bread, so I usually add bread. We are starting with 3 cups of flour. Let's just say that's 3 because my cup sits, I don't know why it keeps tripping, That's 1 teaspoon of salt and another one of yeast. This should be active dry yeast. So there we go. And then we are going to add 6 teaspoons of sugar. Okay, so that's it for our dry ingredients. We are going to nicely mix it together. This is a bread that Topi and I likes making together. Unfortunately, Topi is not here today. Usually we make a competition on whose bread comes out best. And I don't know why, for some reason, his bread is so good. So, and I was looking forward to beating him on this one. So you need 1.5 cups of water. So this is our 1 cup. You add it. So you make your well, and then you add your water. Now that we are having water here, we start mixing it in. So, okay, so you mix it in. Okay, 1.5. Guys, this dough is not like your normal bread recipe. This is a very wet dough, okay? It's supposed to be shaggy. And you are not supposed to knead it. All you are supposed to do is stir until the flour is nicely incorporated with the dough. And this is what I'm trying to do. Okay, and then this is it. Okay, so you can see it's nice and shaggy, but this is all you need to do. Once it's like this, you are done. It's nicely incorporated. You just cover and then you leave it to rise. You leave it to rise for at least 3 hours. Now, if you are in a very cold climate, you might need to leave this for around 3 to 6 hours, depending on where you are. But even though we are in winter, our winters compared to other countries or other continents, our winter is a joke. Okay, so like right now in the afternoon, our feel is around 20 degrees Celsius, which is quite warm. And yeah, so now I'm just going to close or to cover, and then I'm going to let it rise for 3 hours, and then we'll come back and see how it is. So guys, hours later, we are here and our dough have risen very well. This is what it looks like now. You can see it's more than doubled its size, and you can see, you see the way it's shaking? This is why it's such a wet dough, and it's called a shaggy dough, because it actually kind of dances when you shake it. So now we are going to lightly flour our surface where we are going to work. Okay, I don't know whether you call this lightly, but I feel like I'm being generous with the flour because it's so shaggy, and it's quite unpleasant when you are working with it, and it's sticking to the surface. I dislike it, so I'm trying to avoid or to minimize that as much as possible. I don't have, what do you call it, that thingy that people use for the dough, but I'm having my flipper for the eggs, so I'm hoping that it's going to come through for me because this is what I'm using. Did I put enough flour? Because looks like it's expanding beyond this place that I put flour, man. Okay, I think I have to put more flour. Okay, I think I have to add more flour before I get a catastrophe, because it keeps expanding beyond the borders. So okay, let me finish it and then we can continue. So you want to scrap out all those goodies. And guys, bakers, please tell me, what do you do with the leftover dough in your bowls? Do you lick it? Do you give it to the kids when they want it? Because I know there's a controversy with people giving the bowl to the kids to lick because it's containing yeast. I don't know whether that's just a myth, especially in my culture. But as for me, my son totally loves licking the bowl. So if he were here, this would be his job. Anyways, so what you want to do now is to start picking up from under and just tucking it in. You see, it's very wet, but try from under, you tuck it over, under, you tuck it over. So that's all you need to keep doing. Okay. And you probably need to make sure that your fingers gets as much flour as possible, and you have to keep it on the floured surface because it sticks very, very fast. So the sticking is really, really fast. So that's what you want to keep doing. From under, bringing it on top. And I think this is good enough. Let me just lightly flour here because I see it going that side. So this is good enough. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my parchment paper and then I'm going to put my dough in the parchment paper, and then we are going to allow it to rise or to rest for another 30 minutes. Why do you keep rolling back? I think I need help. I need help because you keep rolling back and I don't want you rolling back. Okay, you flip it. Oh, okay, there we go. So there is my bread. Okay, so I'm going to put my parchment paper back into the bowl. And I don't know why I feel like putting another parchment paper. I want to put another paper that goes like this because I'm afraid it might come out. And then so it's going to remain in here, and for the next 30 minutes, it's simply going to rest. Okay, so right now that we are done with the parchment paper and the dough, we are going to switch on our oven. We make sure that it's burning on both top and the bottom, and then we put it on 180 degrees. And then now we are going to put our Dutch oven into the oven so that it can preheat. You actually make sure that you are also having a lid or a handle that is oven friendly. If it's having plastic, please don't put it in. And so we are going to close it, and then we are going to put it into our oven. So this will preheat, and then I'm also going to set my timer for 30 minutes so that when the 30 minutes have passed, the oven is going to remind me, and then I am then going to put my bread in so that it can start baking. Okay guys, 30 minutes gone and our oven is nicely preheated. So it's about time I remove our Dutch oven, which is nice and hot, so be careful not to burn yourself. So I'm going to remove these, and then we are just going to lift our parchment paper at this point and just, oh, it's sticking. Okay, and just put it into our Dutch oven, and then we are going to bake. So we are going to bake this covered for 30 minutes, and then after 30 minutes we are going to uncover it and then bake it for an additional 15 minutes so that it's nice and crunchy. Okay, so guys, 30 minutes have passed. Let's see where we are. Let's see where we are. Okay. So you can see it have started browning nicely. It actually looks good, but now we are going to bake it for another 15 minutes. Or it actually depends. The average is 15 minutes, but you could actually do the variation according to how brown you want it. If this is the brown you want, it's fine, you can go ahead and take it out. I want mine more browner. If you want it as brown as it comes, then you can do even longer than 15 minutes. So let's see. Okay guys, the 15 minutes are gone, the bell have rang, and this is the final reveal of our bread. Let me quickly just try to, oh guys, and it smells so good. So that's what it looks now, nicely brown. At this point I'm just switching off my stove and taking it out. Where did I put the calabash? Oh, it's here. So at this point I am just gonna take it out. Oh, I think the biggest temptation right now is to leave this bread alone until it have cooled down, completely cooled down. You don't want to cut into it while it's hot. So let me just take out the parchment paper, and then we are going to let it rest. So we are going to allow it to rest. And that's kind of what you want. That hollow, when you check, that's kind of what you want. And guys, this bread looks perfect. Oh God. Looks nice and perfect. Huh? So we are leaving it. When it's nice and cool, we are going to cut into it, and then we'll show you how good it is. But the whole point is that you could literally prepare your soup or your tea and have this bread with every other meal. Now that it's nice and cold, you know, when it's just cold and you're in your couch in front of the fire or so, in your blankie, and you're just having a beautiful piece of bread with whatever you're having it with, whether it's coffee, whether it's tea, whether it's soup. I think I will enjoy it best with soup. So yeah guys, it is exactly the next day, and early in the morning we are cutting into this bread, and there we're cutting it in the middle. So I just want you guys to see how good the bread looks. The air pockets, it looks so beautiful. And I'm telling you, it tasted as good as it looks. So easy, not so much work, no kneading, no muscles work whatsoever. And just look at it. Perfect, yummy deliciousness, beautiful air pockets. So easy to make. So what's stopping you from making this no-knead bread recipe again?